morning and a pleasant Monday to you. Wishing you all the best for the week. And let us get going now, uh, placing our awareness in the area of the heart as we always do, and take slow, deep, gentle breaths and experiencing these breaths flowing in and out of our hearts. Allow your breaths to just flow in and out of your heart, breathing very softly, very gently, very mindfully. And just settle into your chair or wherever you are, allowing yourself to just relax. Take these slow, gentle, nurturing breaths. Imagine them flowing into your heart and exhaling from your heart outward. Slow, deep, gentle, symmetrical breaths. And draw these breaths even deeper if you can, if it feels comfortable, if it feels right. Imagine them flowing into your heart and down to your root chakra or your perineum. And as you exhale, exhale from your root chakra up and out through your heart. Try that as best as you can. Make your breath symmetrical. That means if you take 5 seconds to breathe in, take 5 seconds to breathe out, and just allow it to flow so that it's not stopping at the top or the bottom of your breath. Now bring yourself back to this moment. Open your eyes if you had them closed. Today's topic is taming your naysayer thoughts. Now, I know everyone here has experienced naysayer thoughts. Naysayer thoughts happen when we are inspired to do something, and then the how creeps in. How am I going to get that done? I really want to do it, but how do I do that? And that is an important aspect. It's actually a wonderful thing that comes up, because it gives you clues as to where your limiting beliefs are. So the idea here is, first and foremost, to actually interrupt these thoughts. So let's practice that right now. Let's experience that right now. So, if you want to close your eyes and just think about one of the desires you have, one of the wishes you have, one of the things you want to happen for you. And now just close your eyes and imagine you having that thing. So whatever that is, and feel free to type that in if you want to share with us, of course. And as you imagine it, see if you can notice some naysayer thoughts like, oh, how are you going to ever do that? You're not that smart, or somebody else has already done that. What value would you add to that? And share with me what your naysayer thoughts are that come through. I can share with you what my thoughts are. And I'm happy to basically share with you that one of the things that I had been struggling with, of course, was the idea that my programs will not benefit anybody. It was a huge thing, even though I received much feedback saying, "Oh my God, I realized this," and light bulbs went off and all of that. Even though I've been getting those, somehow my limiting belief still says you're not important to others. And it's important. I mean, that limiting belief is there still, but I interrupt it and I replace it. So if you want to share with me what your thoughts are, where your naysayer thoughts come in, what are the dominant thoughts that happen for you that stops you and stops you from actually actualizing your inspiration? Because that is very, very important to have that happening, is for you to first recognize it. Okay. So once you recognize it, and you say, for example, in my example, my programs are not of any value to anybody. Okay. So I know that's not true. Like at cognitive level, I know it's not true. And you may have naysayer thoughts that at the cognitive level, that's not true. But the problem is that it is in our subconscious that was probably there since childhood, that we had since childhood. And somebody may have told us that, okay, you know what, you can't do this because you're not old enough to do that. Something as simple and benign as that could turn into compartmentalizing that into I'm not good enough. Okay, so could be as simple as that. So the idea here is, whenever you exhibit something, go through life, and this pops up saying, and you talk yourself out of doing something, take a step back and check in and say, okay, what's going on here? What thoughts are coming through to me that's saying that? Sometimes you'll get inspiration that says that's not the right choice for you. And you'll feel the inspiration behind that decision, which is not a naysayer thought, but it's more of an inspirational signal to you saying, choose something different. But there's one that says, if a thought comes to you that literally you feel like it's making you play small, like you're not good enough to do this, or this is too big for you, you'll never achieve this, you've never achieved anything in the past of that grand scale. Those kinds of things are naysayer thoughts. So interrupt them. And then to release and replace that is another thing. So to replace that naysayer thought is basically find the opposite thought and allow that opposite thought to connect with that opposite thought. Okay. So, there's an entire presentation of this that I'm doing at 11 o'clock for our Ignite members. And I'm going to go dive deep into that particular one at 11 o'clock today. However, for those who are not going to be participating in that program, what you do is you take the thoughts, you write them down saying, these are my thoughts, look at it, and then write the exact opposite of that thought and see if you can take that exact opposite of that thought and interrupt it. So next time that thought comes up, you already have the exact opposite that you can say, no, I'm capable of doing this. There's a whole process for this, but right now, for this particular moment, in the time that we have here, is to interrupt, be aware, interrupt your naysayer thoughts, replace it with something opposite, and then go forward. Like in my example, my programs won't help anybody. I would interrupt that and I would say, my programs are of value to people. And I would remind myself of that. And then I would, of course, that then would, it's interesting. When you say that, all of a sudden you get examples coming through in your mind saying, oh, this person said this person said that. Try that. When you interrupt that thought and when you start putting an opposite thought, you'll get all kinds of reminders of the things that actually reinforce that replacement thought. All right. So let us restore our composure. And here is where we start feeling the opposite of the naysayer thought. So if you had a naysayer thought, here's where you start feeling the opposite. So place awareness in the area of the heart. Take slow, deep, gentle breaths and allow your body to restore composure, allow your body to balance, allow your autonomic nervous system to center itself and balance itself. And once it's centered and balanced properly, as you take these slow, deep, gentle breaths, symmetrically and experience them flowing in and out of your heart, now begin to express gratitude and appreciation for all the wonderful things that you have experienced in your life. And begin there. Start with that appreciation, gratitude, and feel into the opposite of that naysayer thoughts. Whatever that statement is, feel into the opposite of that and begin to get inspired by that, by the replacement belief, by the replacement thought. As you take these slow, deep, gentle breaths, experiencing them flowing in and out of your heart. Continue those breaths down to your perineum and out from your perineum and out through the heart. Take these breaths as deep as you can. Allow your body to restore balance, regain composure, and then experience the joy, the inspiration, and the gratitude that comes from replacing and taming your naysayer thoughts. The universe is here to set you up for success. And if that doesn't resonate with you, then you have a belief system that you need to replace. Thank you so much for participating today, and you may open your eyes if you haven't closed. 15 minutes go by so quickly nowadays. Must be in a time warp. I see some comments coming in or questions. I'll take a look at them in a second. If you have some more, please go ahead and type them in. For our Ignite members, if you can join us, please join us at 11 o'clock, where I'll be doing part 2 of freeing yourself from limiting beliefs. Again, this is a process that I talked about earlier in our segment, is that this process basically unravels the limiting beliefs that you had no idea is in your system. Your limiting beliefs are what's stopping you from getting to the next level. So that's why this is a 4-part series, and we're doing part 2. Part 1 is available for replay. If you're interested, if you're not an Ignite member, you can still join before 11 o'clock today. You have a couple of hours. And if I can help you to help you get out of your own way, personal coaching, let me know. I'm happy to support you that way. All right, let's see what kind of comments and questions are coming through for the next segment here. All right. We have, good morning, Cynthia. Thank you for joining us today. And I love the coffee symbols there. Thank you so much. Sudanta from the UK, hello, and hope all is well. Good afternoon to you, or early evening. Sudanta says that the no cannot do comes up as default. It's easier than to make the effort to swim upstream. Thank you for drawing attention to this habit, Shamir. Yes, that's true. Our naysayer thoughts are too quick to come by, and it's because I did another espresso shot, which talks about how we are biologically wired to actually sense the worst case scenario, so that your body is prepared for the worst case, and then you won't be disappointed. Sometimes what we have to do is interrupt that, because our worst case scenario will actually talk us out of doing something grand, right? So thank you for that, Sudanta. Dil, the rational mind says it is not possible to do this project in the time scale one has and the resources one needs to complete it. That is very true. When we talk about this, when we say, I'm inspired to do something grand, and then the naysayer thought comes in and says, I don't have the time to do it. I don't know how I can achieve it. How am I going to do it in such a short time? Well, interestingly enough, you can overcome that. Time is really not linear. Time is actually, you can, if you look at the studies that are being done with quantum physics and quantum mechanics, time is absolutely not linear. There's an example, and I don't want to go too deep into this, but there's an example of Greg Braden. He said that in one of his books that he wrote, he said that he was in Egypt, and he was being escorted, like his group was being escorted by the Egyptian army, to keep them safe, of course. And they were traveling to another location, and they should have reached that other location in 3 hours. They reached that other location in less time than 3 hours, 2 hours. As a matter of fact, the convoy stopped. The soldiers got out and they started scratching their heads, saying, how did we get to this particular milestone? And there was a statue there which was supposed to be 2.5 hours out from where they started the journey, but they reached there in an hour. And this was where Greg Braden explained that everybody in his group were also connected, and they were vibrating so high that time did not matter to them. It may be tough for most of us to understand that and realize that, but time, set that aside. If you have a grandiose goal, your naysayer thoughts, interrupt them no matter what. Do not allow, how am I going to do this, to interrupt your inspiration. Keep that inspiration alive. Thank you for that, Dil. All right. Dr. Wolf, the voice of my mom. Oh, wow. Yeah, my mom too. That I won't amount to much. So keep my head down and don't make waves. Be nice. So be nice is always a good advice, but your mom had her own experience. She was trying to protect you, and I think this is where we chat with the mom inside us, who resonates and live within us. And we make peace with that and say, thank you for protecting me. When I was young, I no longer need that protection. I'm now able to shine my heart in such a way that I can walk with my head raised. Thank you for serving me in that way to help protect me while I was in a cocoon. But now I'm no longer needing that particular advice. So thank you so much, Dr. Wolf, for sharing that with us. Cynthia, my New Year resolution was to change my negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Yes, it is the same. Yes, actually, there's a little bit more than that. It's not about thoughts. It's about getting the thoughts into your heart and getting inspired by the opposite of the negative thoughts. So if you want to add that step, if you haven't already, Cynthia, I would recommend that you do that. All right. So interrupt it, replace it with an opposite thought, and just feel it in your heart. And that should move you along in that way. So good luck with that resolution. Great, thank you. You're welcome. Namaste. Wonderful. You have wonderful, beautiful. Well, then you're on your way. Thank you so much. I don't see any more comments coming through, so I want to thank you all for spirited participation. I look forward to seeing you next week again. And for those of you who are Ignite members, I'll see you at 11. Take care for now. Bye-bye.